as part of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in the United Kingdom with greater impacts and create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely green community in the United Kingdom. All right, welcome back from that very short break. We apologize for that. Still with me now is Genevieve Fly. We're talking about your health. My last question, the importance of actually looking after our health.
Yeah, just like I was about to say, it's very important that we have to understand that we are not just the physical body we think we are. And we are more beyond just the physical body as we are. And in the process of understanding this, we have to be able to know that everything about us and about our health has to do with how we interact with the environment where we are, and also about what we do in terms of how we keep our body. Whether it's in terms of the air we breathe, whether it's in terms of the food we eat, whether it's in terms of the habits, the thoughts, everything all linked together. Like myself, I've worked as a nurse in the medical field, and obviously I worked up to a point of working as a critical care nurse. And in that process, one thing that's always kind of made me think there's something more to what we are being told about health or what we know about it is that sometimes you can get some of these patients that come into the hospital, or even if they're not in the hospital, people that they tend to get ill, you know, suffer from one sickness or the other, and after some time, they go back into that same sickness. So there's something wrong somewhere.
After being treated?
Yeah, after being treated, somebody is still reoccurs. So because if something has been properly treated, you are not expecting it to come back. If something has been cured, you're expecting it should be able to disappear without coming back again. So, but in the instance of how we have been made to understand how these things work, then we see some people that have to repeatedly fall back into this sickness. So that means there's something beyond just the manifestation of that sickness as it is just on the physical body. And that's where you have to look at what else links to why we fall sick.
Okay, so all these, some of these factors you mentioned, the environment, the health, the food, how do they link to impact on our health?
Okay, every single one of us is, we are what we eat, we are who we are. Okay, and if we have to go back to the tiniest part of who we are. So you have to go back to talking about the cell, because every part of our body is made up of the cells. The cells, we do not see them with the naked eyes. We have to use the microscope to see them. But that your cell obviously has protons linking to it, neutrons, electrons linking to it. And every part of that your cell, that microscopic part of you, is what makes up every body fiber you have, every muscle, every tissue, every organ. So anything you are pushing into that body, from the outside, even from the inside, in terms of how you feel, how you think, they all make up this cell. So if you, that's how it links to, if you're eating like junk food, eating poisons in the name of food, and taking things that do not harmonize with the energy of the cell, because your body can only make up what you are giving it, and what forms that blood is exactly what you are giving it, what you are feeding into it. So if you are giving it something that is very nutritive, for example, something that is very green, live food that is life, not just everything. So if you are giving your body that live food, you're expecting your cells to be alive and active.
How do you mean live food?
Okay, yeah, what I mean by live food is, obviously, you know, when you are talking about everything in life vibrates, so the universe, if I have to just use that kind of explanation, the universe works in frequency, energy, and vibration, just like we are here discussing, okay? So without the basic energy of the food we eat, we cannot walk around, we cannot do something. If somebody is very hungry now, they will be very exhausted and tired. Until they eat food, then they get the basic energy to be able to move about, to do something else. So, but in the process of understanding the nature of the food we eat and everything, you have to understand that each food has a sort of frequency and vibration they operate on. And these frequencies is just like tuning into the channel. So Ben TV is on Sky 182, for example. So you can also find BBC on another channel. So it's just that same way. So everything, whether it's the food we eat, whether it's the nature of our cells, whether it's how our body works, depends on what we feed into it. And when we're able to feed our body live food, example of live food is, okay, take for example, we talk about green foods. So green foods, you can look at them as live food, okay, because they are alive. It's not a dead food, it's alive. It's active with the chlorophyll, it's active with the energy of the sun, it's active with everything that gives it the energy, the higher vibration, the higher frequency, which when that is now pushed into the cells of your body, when it goes in. So because when we eat protein, carbohydrate, fat, it's not what goes into the blood. It's not, it doesn't go into the blood as protein. It doesn't go into the blood as fat. It doesn't go into the blood as carbohydrate. It has to be first broken down into the micro element, you know, which has to now amino acid or fatty acid, you know, and before it will be able to go into the bloodstream. But at the same time as well, you know, there are like wires inside our body. So you can look at body with coordinating with so many wires. And these wires are like the things, the fibers and all the things that hold it together. And whatever we are feeding to these tiny, tiny fibers and wires and nerves is what makes up the cells of our body and everything. And it's the same way that when anything that is not in accordance with any of these cells enters the body, it kind of migrates. Maybe it could possibly migrate to another part of the body. And if it migrates to another part of the body, then it becomes something that is a problem now manifesting as sickness. So I don't want to define it in a way how the medical science look at it. So I want to take someone to have an open mind and just, you know, kind of listen and have an open mind and see if they can pick something and understand different way of how all these things work. So because it's the damage to the cells of those body due to the migration of something that is not in harmony with that particular cell that results into sickness and a block in the system, then manifesting as pain, fever, you know, any other sickness, somebody cancer, you know, liver disease, hypertension. But these body organs, we also don't have to forget that they work without, major body organs work without our own will. Your heart is pumping without you asking it to pump. Your lungs are breathing without you asking it to breathe. Okay, so the kidneys, the livers, and all other body organs, they are working without your help. Okay, but for you to move your leg now, it's you that voluntarily have to move your leg. So you have to look at the autonomic nervous system, which medical science doesn't really focus on, because medical science concentrates more on the central nervous system, and in the process of concentrating more on the central nervous system, then they neglect the autonomic nervous system, which without it, every other part of the body cannot really move, cannot really work.
So how do we as individuals begin to enhance that part of the nervous system that science doesn't look at?
Yeah, you know, in terms of when we talk about science and we talk about research and all the rest of them, so you know it has to do more with something that they want to see. They can see either with the microscope or they can see by performing certain research. But beyond that point of what they're able to see lies something more. That's why you can see them today talk about, okay, we have seen this, or science says, okay, take for example, they talk about Mars. For example, they say, oh, before that, there's nothing like life that can exist in the Mars. Oh, now, recently you had them start saying, oh, we can find some tiny kind of things that show there could be drops of water or whatever in Mars. Oh, very soon now, then we're going to tell you, now we know there are beings that are living there. So because all these planets and all this nature, all the universe, despite the fact that they're like far away from us, but life exists in all these places. But because we don't work on that level of vibration, we don't understand it. So that's where science is limited. Science only talks about what it sees from the eyes of the person who is seeing it, and at the limitation of what the person is focused on seeing. And because health, you know, just like as we are, the blood is running inside their body. You are not seeing the blood running, but you are aware, because if you now cut your skin, you will be able to see the blood running out from the vein. But without that, it doesn't mean that it's not there. So it's the same way with health, is the same way with healing, is the same way with, you know, understanding the nature of how these things work. And by being able to understand that, then you'll be able to see that the autonomic nervous system, even though works in harmony with the central nervous system as a whole, but without the autonomic nervous system. The central nervous system in itself we cannot coordinate other things because it's the involuntary actions that are keeping us alive. So because once your heart starts pumping, you are gone. Do you get it? The person is just gone. So, but you can still see somebody that is in vegetative state, but yet they are living. So why would, if the brain is dead, why would somebody still be alive, even in vegetative state? Are you seeing it? Because it's the autonomic. It's the involuntary ones. And these organs, science hasn't focused more on the understanding the nature of how these organs work. Okay? So when you truly study and understand how these organs work, you know, because they're all involuntary, they work beyond just the limitation of what science knows about it today.
Okay, and for the benefit of my viewers, people watching this program, how do we begin to coordinate whatever this terminology you've used to the best interests of our health?
Yeah, personally myself, you know, because it's not information that is readily available to people. It's not something that people are used to hearing about. So for me, it's like an opportunity to ask people to have an open mind, you know, even call on the, the medical communities, call on people who are interested in things relating to science and research, even if they want to understand how it works. So I'm willing to volunteer myself, for example, to be able to show how these things work. But the point there now is that when you understand the nature of how the autonomic, the involuntary, our body's involuntary system works, you now understand how that relates to healing, because there's no sickness on this earth that doesn't have a cure. But the problem is that because right from childhood, we have been made to believe, oh, it's only tablet that has to cure every sickness. Obviously, I'm not asking people not to take their tablets if they have to take, but the question you have to ask yourself is, why is it that when you are taking a tablet for a particular illness, it's giving you more than 10 side effects, which at the same time are affecting the major organs that is working for? And at the same time, it's trying to cure another sickness, but it's giving you another 10. So why is that the case? Because something that is curing you shouldn't be giving you something, you know, much worse than what you are looking for. And that's when it has to come to, obviously, people have to make money from, you know, tablets and all the rest of them. So we have to open up our brain and mind towards this understanding. And that's when you have to know that, you know, many of us Christians or other people are like, we talk about God every day, but see, we don't think that God didn't throw us into this earth to just keep us blind and keep us in dark. It's just us that are blind in the way we think and in the way we do things and the way we have been made to believe about things. So when you now understand, like somebody like me, there's a kind of healing I can apply to the body at the specific point, because various points in the body system can reverse various kinds of sicknesses. But it's only somebody who is a master, who is skilled in that kind of opportunity, that will be able to use that kind of skill.
How does the kind of food we eat have effect on different sicknesses? I mean, you hear doctors say eat more veg, eat more fruit, this and that, drink water. Yeah. How do they impact on our health?
Just like I kind of explained. So the thing is, we need to understand that you are not just eating food because you want to just have an energy to survive. You have to understand the nature of how all these things connect, because the food you're eating makes up every single part of you. So just when you bring out your food to eat, you know, look at it and say to yourself, is this thing I'm just eating, is it what I want my whole body cells to be made up of? Okay? Take, for example, we Nigerians, you know, we've grown up into believing, you know, we have to eat a lot of animals because it contains proteins, you know. All these things, obviously, we have been grown into all these things, but all foods vibrate, okay? Take, for example, now, bring tomato, and bring meat, for example. Leave two of them outside. Within 6 hours, 10 hours, the meat will start smelling, okay? Leave it the next day. It will smell more. You won't be happy to sit near where that meat is smelling, okay? But that's water. No matter, even if it stays there 3, 4, 5 days, you will not smell anything bad from it. So look at it at the vibration and the frequency I'm talking about. Okay? You will feel very bad when you smell a meat that is really decaying. Okay? So because in essence, is typically just a dead body. Are you seeing it? So, but we believe we have to eat it because we need protein. But then, obviously, it's not the only source of protein.
Well, health practitioners will tell you that at a certain point, you shouldn't be eating too much of red meat or
whether it's the red, whether it's the white, meat is meat. Okay, so that's the central point here. That's why I'm trying to use tomato, because look at the color of tomato is red. Okay, the bodies we have within our body energy centers, various energy centers, like the one that is at the celiac ganglion, which connects to the sympathetic ganglion of the autonomic nervous system I talked about, the involuntary actions. That's where we call, this gut instinct, where people say, my gut feeling tells me this. So because that's where the solar plexus, another very important energy center is. Take, for example, if you eat a lot of food now, okay, you might start having pain here. You will feel weak and tired. You feel like you cannot do anything because we have positive and negative polarities. So when we are pushing in, we are giving more of the negative polarity. Okay? And when you now start feeling that pain here, it tells you something is wrong. But you've eaten that food because you want energy. But at the same time, it has weakened you because you've pushed in
too much
than your body needs. More negative instead of more positive. Then it now affects you. But at the same time, we also have to understand the power of our breath, the power of our breathing. So if, for example, now you didn't eat as heavy food as you wanted, okay? So you'll be able to, obviously, still derive the energy you need. But at the same time, understanding that every single thing you eat, because it's about the elements, you are looking for the elements. The body is made up of 144 elements, all right? Magnesium, calcium, phosphate, zinc, iron, and all the rest of them. So when you are looking for food to eat, it's always good to look what foods contain more of these elements. Magnesium, for example, our heart cannot work without magnesium. So magnesium is like a magnet that is like drawing and pulling all the fibers together, helping them to walk through. Okay? So usually see your body like a dirty water. And if you want to purify a dirty water, if you want to cleanse, take off dirty water, you will use a clean water. You pour in clean water into it to wash off the dirty one in order to have, a clean water. So it's the same way our body is. So if you don't purify the body, if you don't give your cells detoxification, if you don't, detox, if you don't give the cells of your body something that vibrates higher to a frequency that is very good.
But the process of detoxifying the body system, for some, does complex. Some will say, take this kind of fruit, take that kind of fruit, drink water in the morning, eat 5 portions of fruits daily.
Yeah, I agree with you, obviously, yeah. So because to some people it's confusing. Like myself, I'm a vegan, so I remember I used to weigh, anyway, some people who know me, they know I used to weigh more than 72, 73 before. But obviously when I became a vegan and cleansed myself, my weight went that way. So because you have to understand the process of doing all these things. So like myself, I tend to teach people and help them to understand how they can go through these processes. So because, just as I said, there's no sickness on this earth that doesn't have a cure. There's no sickness that doesn't have a herb that can cure it, even the herbs we take, okay? But it's about understanding how you have to use that. Excuse me. It's about how you have to use it. So because it's not just about sprinkling a herb or spice in food. You have to follow a certain sequence of how to do it. And in the process of following that certain sequence, then everything you're looking for has to work properly for you. But without doing that, so it's like change of habit, and that's where people are very stuck because many people don't want to give up what they are used to doing. And in the process of that, so they feel it's better for them to stop, just hold on to where they are. So, but if they're able to change the habit, they will understand that in the process of doing that, you reverse every other thing. So it's that same way. For every sickness, there's a way to heal it. Whether it's applying direct energy to the, channeling energy to the particular part of the ganglions that are responsible for reversing that, working on those organs that work in harmony for that specific sickness, then you reverse it. But obviously, that's for advanced practitioners like ourselves that knows how to do it. But outside of that, there are other basic ways that one can do that.
Okay, fantastic.
And it's something I'm willing to kind of help, whether it's our community, the medical community, whether it's people who are out there, even if some doctors that are out there that want to understand how these things work, or even people that are interested, you know, kind of understanding how the nature of all these things work. So it's something that you can show. And like in the process of doing that, you can tell someone, go to the hospital, do some tests, come back, you have hypertension, you have diabetes, that's fine. Then when the treatment is applied to you now, then go back again, do another test and see what the result will be. So
natural health healing.
Yeah, natural health healing. So by working on specific points in the body, okay, which are responsible for reversing those
certain things. Okay, fantastic.
So, yeah.
Genevieve Flight is my guest talking on health issue on the program today. Genevieve, thank you for being part of the program.
Hopefully, so much
we will be able to bring you back and continue on this path and talk about more. We can educate our community on taking advantage of natural things around us to improve their health and dropping certain bad habits that could damage our health as well.
Obviously,
Genevieve Flight, thank you so much for coming on the show. All right, Fly, and this is how far we conclude the program today on the show. It's been a great time with you this Monday morning. Tomorrow on BBS, Wednesday in the evening, News Punch will be here at 6 o'clock to continue with the program. Just stay tuned with Ben Television, your first ethnic channel in Europe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. And create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely green community in the United Kingdom. Our channel, Ben TV, presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
During President Nana